Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another Appalachian Trail community news and THru HIker update. Well, we got a lot of folks that have summited, a lot more coming up. It's kind of ramping up to that season where you're going to have a lot of people summiting here all at one time, and looking forward to getting that information out there to you. But not only that, supporting the THru HIkers out there. Of course, we celebrate with the folks that have summited or the folks that have finished, whether they're doing a flip-flop or what have you. Doesn't matter if you've actually summited and that's the end of your trip. If you're flip-flopping and you're stopping at Harper's Ferry or Upper Goose Pond or in the middle of nowhere, we want to celebrate with you. So if you've done any of that, you've finished your trip and you are done, whether it be a through hike or even if you've finished all your section hikes and you've done the total Appalachian Trail, let us know. Send in us your finished picture and we want to celebrate and just let everybody else know so that the hiking community can celebrate with you. So send that information to me. You can send me a DM or you can send me an email. That's down in the description section, those links for that. And then also, we're out there, we're still supporting the THru HIkers, going to continue to do that to the last one that we know is either off the trail or we no longer hear from them anymore. And so if you're a THru HIker and you want to be included in that update, then go ahead and send that information to me and let me know where you're at. Give us some news from the trail for those that are coming behind you or those that may be Sobo that are in front of you. Let us know how the water sources are, bugs, how things are going on the trail. All those things, just the more information we have to put out there to the hiker community, the better it is for everybody, the more we can build this hiker community. And speaking of building it, if you're interested in getting these on a regular basis, subscribe to this channel. Also, you'll get a lot of my section hikes. Share this channel with like-minded people so you can help me build the hiker community. And I'm just looking forward to that and just all things going on with the trail. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on with the THru HIkers out there. So 7 Quicksilver, they are around Bland, Virginia. So they have already finished up north. They're coming back Sobo, and they indicated they're still meeting late Nobos every third day or so. Most of those have been flipped up to Katahdin at some point and then come back. And then they're also meeting a lot of flippers and Sobos as well. Just a Farmer, he is also heading south on his flip-flop, finishing up the last 219 miles of his flip-flop, and he's somewhere around Port Clinton, Pennsylvania. Huck, he is in Vermont, and he says it was dry, but fortunately the sun went behind the clouds and it started raining, had some storms moved in, and he's back in the Vermont again. So he says he is having fun up there doing that, and he wouldn't have it any other way. So it does say the slick rocks and the shoe stealing and the mud ponds, they just keep it challenging, and he's just enjoying himself as he always does. Goob has passed 1,600 miles and entered into Vermont. Says it's been very hot this week. Temperature has been in the 90s, but at least there's lots of water. The Drifters, they are done. Their flip-flop was cut short last year due to their wife's father dying, but they have ended their trip there in Monson, Maine. So congratulations to them. They have raised nearly $5,000. Correction, they have raised nearly $5,500 for the 2 veterans organizations that they were raising money for, and that's the TACP Association and the Green Berets Foundation. So congratulations to the Drifters for doing that. Luscious Nate and Tupac, they are into New Jersey now, and they'll be getting to the Warwick Drive-In Theater hopefully by Tuesday. They said New Jersey's great so far with lots of water. Water has not been an issue, and they've also had lots of great views. Buttercup, she is back on the trail after some R&R for a concussion, and she has completed 1,000 miles. Hillbilly, he's passed 1,800 miles north of Mount Moosilauke. Dingo finally made it to Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Says it's very hot out here, but is glad to be out of Connecticut. Runway's back on trail after a sprained shoulder and is almost to Monson. Two Knees, he is north of the Glastonbury Fire Tower there at 1634, and he says the bugs are still rough. Mascus has made it through the presidentials and also indicated that his girlfriend, Tasty Taters, is now off the trail and is going back to Southern California to teach high school. So I don't know who's got it rougher. Massacus, who's started his hike in Key West and is going all the way the Eastern Continental Trail all the way up into Canada. And so I don't know who's got it worse, him or his girlfriend Tasty Taters, who's having to go back and teach high school in California nonetheless. So prayers be with you there, Tasty Taters. Sarge, he has started the 100-mile wilderness, and he hopes to summit on the 21st. Boo Boo, he is north of Harriman State Park, New York, and we're going to hear a little bit more from him on an update here, just a few moments, about the bridge outing that's up there. But he is also attempting the 50-mile Connecticut Challenge. And Reroute is getting ready to start the 100-mile wilderness. She had fallen and developed a hematoma under her patella, as well as a subdural infection from a small cut during the fall. So all that Latin is to speak that she fell down and got hurt and hurt her knee bad. So I think a hematoma is pretty much like the pump knot that Come Along got on our last trip. It certainly can be something that could end your hike, but unfortunately it has not. Antibiotics kicked in, and so she just had a short delay. So she is back out there. She's hoping to summit on the 17th, and she is back hiking with Tractor and Underdog. So I know she is having a good time with those two folks. So we had some summits this past week. Sugar was number 364 on the summit, on her summit tag number that Baxter Park gives you. That's your permit that they give you. So she indicated she's number 364, and also her hiking partner Bowie summited with her. Orange and Whistler, they summited. Dillinger and Birdman summited. Shaker, he summited. Grizzly, Johnny Boy, Six Pack, Sappy, OB, and Starfish. So congratulations to all those folks. That's a pretty good track that we've got there of folks that have summited. I'm sure we're going to have more and more each week. Please let me know, particularly if you've been reporting to me, or even if you hadn't been reporting to me throughout the hiker season. Let me know. We want to celebrate with you. We did have one person that got off the trail, although it's only temporary, and that's Tex. She had to get off the trail. She's made it to Maine, but she had some type of weird allergic reaction to the Leuco or keto tape that she was using to cut down on blisters and such, and she doesn't know. She's used that before, never had an allergic reaction to that adhesive, but she did this time, so she had to get off trail for about a week. But she is going to be back on in just a week, so looking forward to her big finish. So we got just a little bit of trail news. So last week we had the Arden Road closure there at the overpass, crossing the highway there, just trail south of Harriman State Park. So that was just right before you get in, or as you're getting into Harriman State Park. So they shut that down to all pedestrian and car traffic in there. And last week, I had indicated to you a reroute. The ATC had not come out with a reroute yet, and it had been about a week since they had shut that down. And so I took it upon myself to come out with a reroute for through hikers out there. I talked to the Tuxedo Police Department and talked it over with them. They also tried to put me on a conference call with the Harriman State Park folks. That didn't work out. The Harriman State Park folks were going to call me, supposed to call me back. They never did, but the Tuxedo Police Department indicated to me that the route that I had kind of put together, which was turn north on 17, hike a few miles, then cross over the road there on another bridge, come down into what looked like a state park area there. There was a historical society that had a place there, and it looked like some roads you could walk through in there. There was a large clearing that I indicated that would take you to Arden Road. Well, it turns out now that even though the Tuxedo Police Department said that would be okay, it's not okay. That is private property once you get past the Historical Society area, which is very short time once you get in on that road. That's private property with no trespassing signs up there that they do patrol. So we don't want to violate that. Do not go in that area. Do not go that route. The ATC now has put together a very convoluted reroute to get you through that area, and it actually adds about 8.65 miles to the actual your actual route that it's going to add to an actual mileage for the ATC. So that means that no longer will you, while the bridge is out, not only will you be hiking the Appalachian Trail, but this reroute, which is an official reroute, so it will count as trail miles. It's more trail miles, 8.65, so rather than 2,193.1 miles this year, if you have to take that reroute, you'll be walking 2,201.75 miles. So you'll be hiking over 2,200 miles, and that means if you've got a bag tag, then you got to go through and X through that and put in the correct miles, right? But in any case, I'm not going to give you those exact directions because there's about 25 steps that you have to take to get through that reroute, around that bridge closure there. So if you'll just go to the ATC website and you'll find that reroute there. On the front page, they actually have a link to it so that you can get to it rather quickly. It is a very convoluted, you got to turn left here, right here, follow the blue trail, follow the orange trail, follow the yellow trail. It's a mess getting through there. And here's where Boo Boo comes into. Boo Boo indicated that when he got through that area, he says, I just crossed the bridge. It was supposed to be closed in New York. There was lots of heavy equipment and cones and workers constantly walking across the bridge. So I just walked across without asking anybody. Nobody pulled me aside and told me I couldn't. So I think it's just cars that they have a problem with, but they have to say no foot traffic on the sign to cover their backside. So Boo Boo just walked right across. I am not saying that is what you should do. I am just saying that Boo Boo did it, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And then also, unbelievably, and I know this is going to be hard for you to believe, but the ATC has put out a mandate that everybody, whether you've been vaccinated or not, has to wear a mask inside of all of their visitor centers. So that's, everywhere from Harper's Ferry to Monson to everywhere there's an ATC visitor center, and I assume that means their museum. Even if you've been vaccinated, you have to wear your mask. Hard to believe, but that is what they have put out. And then also, again in the hard to believe category, they have put out that due to an increase of COVID-19 cases in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, the ATC will no longer permit any visitors inside Upper Goose Pond Cabin. Only the caretakers are permitted inside. All of the facilities and amenities continue to be available. So I don't know why they've singled out that cabin or that particular shelter when other shelters are open. I suppose that's one that they own, and so they've determined that they're not going to let you in there. So and I also am not sure since it has a caretaker, a lot of those shelters require a fee, but since you're not actually getting inside of it, I would assume that if there is a fee, it's going to be waived. There is some tenting around there. If THru HIker has been through that area and can give us an update, either send me a DM or let us know down in the comment section what type of tenting there is around there, how much there is available, since you're not going to be able to use that cabin. And that is a 2-story cabin, so that takes away probably 14 to, in a pinch, 20 is a minimum folks that could stay there. So keep that in mind when you're coming through there, that you can go swimming out there in the pond, but you can't camp inside, you can't sleep inside Upper Goose Pond Cabin. All right, folks, that is all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.